Reserve Bank, it could be any country, always keeps on printing the money. Third option, which most of the Indians are very interested in doing, is real estate. Every person who has grown financially or become rich has followed these last option, which is starting a new business. Okay, let's understand what is money, right? So if you just go back probably thousands of years ago and think about how the ancestor used to exchange goods and services, right? So one person probably used to bring the bread to the market, and another person probably used to bring, say, rice, and the exchange used to happen between, say, bread and rice. And that was well and good working system. But if you want to buy a bigger item or an expensive item, then what is the quantity of rice you need to bring? So this was becoming very, very complex problem, because everyone has to know the value of each item, right? What is the value of rice, what is the value of bread, in order to exchange, because each person will bring something to the table. So to solve this complex problem, what they did is they introduced something called as money. And in previous generation, money was like gold coins, silver coins. So it started like that, and because silver and gold had higher values, so it started with that. And then as days passed on, and because they don't have that much reserve of gold or silver, they decided to consider, say, paper as the money. And what is so important for that paper, right? It doesn't have value because it's paper, but value comes because it's accepted universally. Say if you have 2000 rupee note with you, you go anywhere in India, the value of that note is going to be 2000. You can exchange anywhere, and government is always putting that value of 2000 as 2000. So that's the advantage of having the cash. Now you might think, okay, all this is good, but what is the problem? So one thing we need to consider is anything, it might be money, it could be any good, rice, anything which is in abundance loses the value. Same thing is happening with money as well. So as you might be knowing, the Reserve Bank, it could be any country, always keeps on printing the money. So even sometime when the COVID happened, all the government decided to print more money so that it will help multiple people who got affected. But in turn, what happened, when you have a lot of money, the actual value of money goes down. Let me explain by probably one of the example, right? Say you have 10 lakh rupees with you. You go and buy a piece of land with that 10 lakh rupees. Say another person B also has 10 lakh rupees. But instead of investing, he keeps the 10 lakh rupees with him. Say after 5 years, you want to sell that land. Probably the value of the land might have increased, right? So he might sell for, say, 12 lakh rupees. So he made profit of 2 lakhs. But if person B, he wants to buy the same property, even though they both had the same value, right? Initial capital was 10 lakh in both the scenarios. But person B won't be able to buy the property because it is now selling at 12 lakhs. So that's how person B is losing the money. So that's why it is very important that we invest and keep our money growing. Now, how can you grow your money? Say if you have 20 lakhs in your bank account, what can you do with that money, right? You have to grow, because if you're not growing, then it is going to lose the value. We can look at, okay, what are the options available for us to grow money, right? So first, if you see, you work for a company, every month that company will pay you some money, and that is one way of earning and keep on growing. It could be a very high position in a company which pay you well, and that could be one way of earning. Second way most of the people will do is buying, say, a financial asset like, say, FD, RD, or it could be even stocks or bitcoins in nowadays, right? It is taking it is giving lot of returns. So bitcoins or stocks also good investment option. So this is all comes under, say, financial assets. There is like a third option which most of the Indians are like very interested in doing is real estate. Say you buy a plot or you buy a house which is constructed so that you can sell some time after and you make profit out of it. The last option is probably say you are very good at some good product making, or you are good at providing some kind of service. Those also you can use, so providing those services or providing those goods and then earning money out of it, which is nothing but say doing a business. So you might think, okay, I have 4 options, but what is the best option out of all these 4, right? So you might also ask like, okay, you haven't considered say a sportsman or a cinema star. That all comes in the category 1, where you are working for someone and they are paying some amount. It could be high in few cases and it could be very low in few cases. Whether in 10 years from now, doing whatever you are doing every day, are you going to meet your financial goals? Say, are you going to be rich in 10 years from now? If you think yes, then you are probably doing the right things. But if you think no, I may not be able to meet my goals, then that's where you need to rethink. It could be doing probably an additional work, or it could be quitting and trying out something else, or it could be one of these investment options which I talked about. So that is something you need to rethink. Okay, now let's compare all these options and see whichever is best. Which is the option which will probably take you from say whatever current position you are in to becoming very rich. You can probably look at all the businessmen in the world, right? I'll bet you like majority, 99% of them have probably chosen one of these 4 ways of earning money. So if you first consider, right, you are a working professional, you get a salary, you put it in your savings account, probably bank will give you some returns, usually it's like 3 to 4%. Or it could be you are putting in say an FD or financial assets like stocks or something which will return healthy returns. Say for example, FD would return say 6 to 8%, and stocks maybe, I'm talking about like an average, it might vary from say 15 to 20%. So this is like first 3, even in the real estate if you consider, it is also like 15 to 20% depending on where you invest again. So you can calculate with this much of returns, again am I going to reach my goal? If not, okay, what next, right? So my suggestion for anyone who is thinking probably in 10 years I want to grow exponentially is the 4th option, which is starting a business. And again, based on the real-time examples I am saying, you can look at anyone's biographies. Every person who has grown financially or become rich has followed these last option, which is starting a new business. And again, you might be thinking, okay, I'm like daily wage worker, or I'm getting say 10,000 per month, but I don't have enough money to invest and start a business. But that is just a reason which you are giving just to escape from starting a business. If you really think starting a business, you need not need so much capital. It could be 10,000, it could be 20,000, it could be 2 lakhs, but depend on the type of business. So you start whatever amount you have, you start a business with that much amount. So there are many businesses, right? We always think of some ideas, but the execution part is where majority of us fail. You need to start. So there is a saying, right? If you start, half of the work is done. So you have to take that first step and try out things. And I won't recommend you investing whatever savings account. If you have 2 lakhs, don't invest all 2 lakhs in some business, because business is always trial and error. You have to calculate the risk, and then you need to take the whether you are going to invest or not. You need to rethink. So I would say you start very small. You start very small. What is the advantage of starting small is you can try multiple businesses. If one fails, something will succeed, right? If you are trying 10 business, probably 1 or 2 might succeed, and you know, okay, how you can do better by learning from those failures. Second thing is you can reinvest. Say if you have 2 lakhs capital, you are starting a business of 10,000, Once the business starts growing exponentially, you can start putting more and more investment, right? And that is how, even if you lose, you are not going to lose much, but if that succeeds, you are going to make a good amount of money. Why most of the people follow the last option is because there is a chance of growing it exponentially. None of the other tools, right, either it is FT, savings, or even stocks. Again, I am taking the average scenario in case of stocks. There could be exceptions, but majority of them, they don't give you exponential returns so that you can become rich. Only the fourth option, which very good at some product or services, you keep on doing that, you improve your business, and the world is so huge that if you succeed in that business, you can grow exponentially. And that's how majority of the rich person have followed that path. Okay, so finally I want to end with one of the saying. There is a saying from one of the movie. If you figure out a way to get 1 rupee from every person, right? If you think about Indian population, it's almost like more than 1 billion. So even if you get 1 rupee from each of them, you will become a billionaire. Thank you.